Christopher Nolan's modern-day crime classic The Dark Knight, his sequel to Batman Begins, follows the caped crusader as he attempts to protect Gotham City from the anarchic clutches of his nemesis, the enigmatic Joker. The Joker causes havoc throughout the movie, having the Gotham mob under his thumb and infiltrating the police ranks. He seems dead set on wanting Batman to forego his no-killing rule, wanting to prove that deep down everyone is corruptible, and in the wise words of Alfred, simply wanted to watch the world burn. One of the film's supporting characters is a man called Lau, first introduced as the head of Lau Security Investments during a business meeting at Wayne Enterprises. Bruce Wayne casts doubts as to the legality of Lau's business operations, illegality which becomes clear to the viewer when Lau is later part of a mob meeting between Gotham's crime bosses. Aware that the Gotham City Police Department's major crime unit has shut down all other money laundering services in the city, Lau preemptively seizes the mob savings to prevent it being confiscated and moves it to an undisclosed location without their knowledge. And given he is based in Hong Kong and outside of Gotham's jurisdiction, essentially he is untouchable. But not to Batman, of course, and as the Joker predicts, Batman eventually finds Lau in Hong Kong and delivers him to Commissioner Gordon. Lau squeals and suggests he would be willing to testify knowledge about the Mafia's financial investments after he's threatened by Rachel Dawes with being sent to county prison, which would leave him at the mercy of any inside man the mob has in lockup. Lau's word brings almost all of Gotham's criminals into the courtroom until the Joker intervenes on their behalf with his guerrilla tactics of violence and chaos involving the death of the presiding judge, the police commissioner, and an attempt on Harvey Dent's life. The Joker is eventually captured, but using a hidden bomb he manages to escape, but not before capturing Lau and escaping with him. Given that we later see Lau tied up atop a huge pile of money, it is safe to assume that whatever the methods of persuasion the Joker possessed were enough for him to get Lau to give up the whereabouts of the mob's cash. Now, The Dark Knight is a film that has a lot going on. There are numerous plot threads and the film is incredibly fast-paced with its story. There's many details in the plot that you miss the first time you watch the film, and it takes a few attempts with rewatches to fill in the blanks. One such question that arises is that, what happened to Lau? We don't actually see him in the film again. And given the last time we did see the guy, he was tied up on top of a stack of cash that the Joker set on fire. Wait, does that mean Lau was burned alive? The focus of the scene in which we last see him is not on Lau. He's almost a non-entity, and it's very easy to forget he's still in the room when the Joker is antagonizing the Chechen. In fact, it's easy to miss that Lau is sitting on top of the money full stop, as we see him in the background and he's never really in focus. The Joker messes with the Chechen and then the film shifts focus to something else, and when it cuts back to the Joker, he roasts the Chechen for only caring about money and sets the pile on fire. But hang on, Lau was presumably still sitting there, unless he somehow managed to throw himself off screen, so surely we were in the presence of perhaps the most horrifying death in any of Nolan's 3 Batman movies, without many of us even realizing. Lau was still wanted at the time by Commissioner Gordon, and yet he's never brought up again. He must have therefore died in the fire. And if we do some further digging, this seems to be something confirmed by the film's script, which specifies that Lau screams when the Joker burns the money, confirming that he was indeed still sitting on top of the pile and was being burned alive. Of course, in the final movie, Lau does not scream, and yet here we are with the Joker telling us Lau was a squealer. There's also this behind-the-scenes shot, which clearly shows some sort of dummy which is supposed to be Lau being burned with the money. The reason Lau's horrifying death was not shown is up for speculation. Perhaps we didn't hear him scream because he was gagged, or maybe it was because the film was PG-13, and showing a man screaming while being burned alive, even if we just hear it, would surely trigger an R rating from the MPAA. The Dark Knight has a lot of implied violence that takes place off-screen, like the pool cue fight to the death, and this is just one of many examples. Maybe showing it would just come off as a bit mean-spirited and unnecessary for a Batman film. Or maybe it was simply an artistic decision made by the filmmakers who changed their minds from the original script, which happens all the time. It would have been very effective to see or hear Lau screaming, But in some ways it is more effective without this, given that the Joker doesn't care about Lau or the money, and he kills people throughout the movie without even looking at them. He has an offhand, matter-of-fact style of killing. And it adds to the movie's rewatch value as well, doesn't it? Observant viewers get rewarded with a shock after watching the scene again, now knowing the fate of Lau, who they previously might have completely forgotten about, given The Dark Knight has so many other things going on. So what do you make of this? Would you have liked to see Lau burning, or at the very least hear him scream when the money pile is set on fire? Do you think that the movie would have gained an R rating as a result? Why do you think it wasn't included? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Before we finish, I'd just like to thank my patrons, Nicholas Curtis, Daniel P and Countess von Zarovich, and also my channel members, Michael Awatwi, Rikers, Damien Irving, The New on Goam 24, Lan Deng, Joe Grossberg and Cam Medina.